You just don't care to be found. Go to Bermuda.com.
Good morning, America. Breaking news. President Trump responds to that Russia investigation bombshell.
Fake news, folks. Fake news.
The new report that he tried to fire special counsel Robert Mueller just 1 month into the job. Why the president eventually backed down. And the Trump administration's new plan for immigration. What it means for 1.8 million dreamers.
Flu emergency. The alarming new cases. A young mother dying after caring for her family. And the 12-year-old boy also passing away. Now an entire school district in Florida is shut down and supplies of Tamiflu running out.
Breaking overnight. Put on notice. Every member of the USA Gymnastics Board told to resign. In the wake of that abuse scandal, now the investigation into the famed Caroli Ranch.
And Photoshop fail. Can you spot what's wrong with one of the world's most famous spreads in the world? What two of Hollywood's biggest stars, Oprah and Reese Witherspoon, are saying about it this morning.
Live in Times Square, this is GMA with Robin Roberts, George Stephanopoulos, and Michael Strahan.
Morning, everybody. Happy Friday. Okay, let's take a little look at the picture. Can you spot what's wrong? Well, one of them was pretty obvious, the third hand from Oprah. But everyone is responding.
Oprah's so talented. She has 3 hands.
That's right. Got a lot of things he's got to juggle.
A lot of
Who were
things
they
to
circling on Reese Witherspoon's dress?
Oh, they're saying, well,
we can't tell it,
No.
George, because there was more than one mistake. And the other one does involve Reese Witherspoon. We're going to tell you later. I'm going to keep you in suspense, teasing you.
That's coming. We have some breaking news to begin with. That breaking news from President Trump. He's in Davos, Switzerland this morning, denying a blockbuster report from the New York Times that last June the president ordered the firing of special counsel Robert Mueller before backing down in the face of resistance from his White House counsel. Our chief White House correspondent John Carl starts us off. Good morning, John.
Good morning, George. Well, the president earlier this week told me that he is willing to be interviewed by Robert Mueller and is fully cooperating with his investigation. But the Times reports that he ordered Mueller fired 6 months ago.
In Davos, Switzerland this morning, President Trump insisted he did not try to fire special counsel Robert Mueller.
Fake news, folks. Fake news.
What's your message today?
Typical New York Times fake stories.
But the Times report is quite detailed, saying President Trump ordered White House counsel Don McGahn to fire Mueller and end the special counsel investigation just 1 month after Mueller was appointed to the job. As Mueller began ramping up his investigation, Trump lashed out at what he called a witch hunt, telling associates, according to the Times, he believed Mueller had conflicts of interest. One of the conflicts cited by the president was the fact that Mueller was at the White House being interviewed by the president about possibly returning as FBI director the day before he was appointed special counsel. The president ultimately backed down from firing Mueller, the Times reports, after White House counsel Don McGahn threatened to resign, saying such a move would have a catastrophic effect on Mr. Trump's presidency and would incite more questions about whether the White House was trying to obstruct the Russia investigation. The report of President Trump's move to fire Mueller stands in stark contrast with what he has said publicly about the special counsel.
Mr. President, have you thought about or considered leading the dismissal of the special counsel? Or is there anything that Bob Mueller could do that you would send you in that direction?
I haven't given it any thought.
Overnight, Democrats sounded the alarm. Senator Mark Warner, the top Democrat on the Senate Intelligence Committee, issued a statement saying, quote, firing the special counsel is a red line that the president cannot cross. Although the president backed down from firing Mueller, he still harbors doubts about the investigation, as he made clear when he spoke with reporters at the White House Wednesday night.
Do you think Robert Mueller will be fair to you in this larger investigation?
We're going to find out. There's no collusion. Now they're saying, oh, well, did he fight back? Did he fight back? Oh, it's obstruction. Yeah. So here's the thing. I hope so.
Interestingly, the president's legal team has chosen not to comment on this story whatsoever. The only reaction coming from the White House lawyer Ty Cobb, who said, quote, we decline to comment out of respect for the office of the special counsel and its process. George?
Okay, John, stand by. I want to have our chief legal analyst, Dan Abrams, join us as well. And Dan, let's start out. The reason this story could be so important is how it fits into a possible obstruction case against the president.
Well, that's right. I mean, remember, obstruction of justice relates to intent. What did the president intend to do? Meaning you don't have to succeed in obstruction of justice to be charged with obstruction of justice. And certainly there's an argument to be made that you add this piece to the other pieces in the puzzle, and this is one more potential problem for the president.
James Comey.
The firing of James Comey. This with regard to Mueller. Then you've got the Rosenstein piece. I mean, there's piece after piece here, and this is not going to be helpful.
And John, one of the things we've seen is consistent denials, not only from the president this morning, but from the White House going back to last summer, that the president was even thinking about this. Here's an interview I had with Kellyanne Conway in August. Bottom line, Kellyanne.
Yes.
Does the president commit to not firing Robert Mueller?
The president has not even discussed that. The president is not discussing firing Bob Mueller.
But will he commit not to fire him?
And cooperating with. He has not even discussed not fire. He's not discussed firing Bob Mueller.
It's pretty clear, John. There were discussions, several.
It sure looks that way, George. It's unclear whether Kellyanne Conway would have been part of any of those discussions. But at the time that this happened, according to the Times, we heard from Chris Ruddy, a friend of the president's, who told us on the record that the president was considering firing Mueller. So this is quite consistent with what we heard in real time.
And the White House was trying to knock that down at the time. So Dan, we now see the president saying this is fake news. This whole story is fake news. Presumably, at some point, Robert Mueller is going to want to ask him about that. What happens if he says this is fake news to Robert Mueller?
Well, then he could be charged with perjury. Again, I said from the beginning, I don't think that's going to happen. But let's keep in mind how...
Because he won't, you don't think he's going to sit down with Mueller?
I don't think he's going to sit down with Mueller and answer all questions. Would he agree to answer certain questions? Maybe, but he's not going to answer all of Mueller's questions. We need to remember how big a deal this would be. Yes, it's no surprise. I mean, I was on this show predicting that this was going to happen. But the bottom line is...
Firing of Mueller, the attempted firing.
Yeah, the firing of Mueller. Look, I had a countdown clock on my website, Law and Crime, talking about how many days till this happens. But it would be shocking if this were to happen. If you're not shocked by this possibility, it means that you don't understand the system. There's a reason that the president can't even fire Mueller himself. It has to go through the Attorney General's office. The reason for that is because the special counsel is supposed to be independent and not reporting to the president.
So that we're even talking about
Right.
this.
I mean, we just have to keep that in mind in this context.
Okay. Dan Abrams, thanks very much.
And George, now to that other major headline out of the White House. The administration is proposing a new immigration plan that would give 1.8 million Dreamers a path to citizenship, but they're expecting major concessions from the Democrats in return. Our senior White House correspondent, Cecilia Vega, has the latest on all that. Good morning, Cecilia.
Hey, Robin, good morning to you. So this is the president's plan that they're going to present to the Senate on Monday, hoping they can, the Congress can reach a deal on DACA and avoid this government shutdown. Let's break this down and take a look at what it means. The White House wants to expand the number of Dreamers who could become citizens in this country to 1.8 million people. That's more than double the current number of people protected by DACA right now. They would become citizens over the next 10 to 12 years. The White House, as we all know, toes a very tough line on immigration. They say this is a major concession. Now, in exchange for this, they want major immigration restrictions. Take a look, like $25 billion for that border wall and security. Cuts on legal family immigration. That means people can only sponsor spouses and minor children for citizenship, not parents and siblings. And Robin, they also want to end the visa lottery program.
Well, the president's proposal is being met with resistance from major pushback from both sides of the aisle, right, Cecilia?
Exactly. It did not take long for the responses to come in. So one Democrat says that this doesn't pass the laugh test. For Democrats, they see curbing family migration as cruel. And they say this $25 billion wall in exchange for citizenship for Dreamers is basically holding this population ransom. Now, Republican leaders say they are very happy they finally know where President Trump stands exactly and firmly on DACA. Many people are applauding this, but you've got hardliners like the Breitbarts of the world who are now calling this President amnesty Don. And Robin, in Davos today, the president said that solving DACA will be a great achievement, but no telling whether this is the plan that is actually going to get this deal done.
No telling yet. All right.
Yeah, and one of the most remarkable things about this now, we're talking about $25 billion for the wall. Remember, all through the campaign, the president said Mexico is going to pay for the wall. Every single time I've spoken with a senior administration official, Secretary of Treasury, Secretary of State, they say they haven't even discussed with Mexico the idea of Mexico paying for the wall.
Not even a discussion yet. All right, George.
All right, we're going to turn now to those alarming new cases of the deadly flu. Two seemingly healthy people dying soon after seeing symptoms. ABC's Victor Oquendo is in Miami. And Victor, Miami of Florida is being hit really hard right now.
Good morning, Michael. Florida being hit so hard, an entire school district in the Panhandle shut down for the day. Some pharmacies like this one running out of crucial medicine. And those two people, a 12-year-old boy and a mother in her 30s, both dying within days of getting the flu.
37-year-old Carly Ilg-Slavin from Indiana is the latest victim to die during this year's fierce flu season. Her husband and two children had the flu last week. Once their health improved, she started feeling ill, and her father says she went to the doctor twice and was diagnosed with influenza.
My wife called and said, get the kids dressed, get over here right away. They put her in ICU. She's in critical condition.
Just 3 days after being diagnosed, she died. She did not get a flu shot this year, according to her father.
Eventually, there was nothing else that could be done. We all were there, standing around her, and she left about 6:30 in the morning.
In South Florida, another deadly case, 12-year-old Dylan Winnick. His family says it escalated quickly. On Monday, he had a fever. On Tuesday, he died.
We lost a wonderful 12-year-old boy. Shocking. You get a call that he's passed. How the hell does that happen?
More than 30 children have died from the flu this season, with schools experiencing a significant impact from flu-like cases. All Gulf District schools in Florida's Panhandle will be closed today, and now supplies of crucial medicines like Tamiflu are running low.
We're told that it was on back order. Between the Tampa market up into the Orlando market, Lake County, Orange County, Seminole County, it was just very challenging.
Pharmacy giant Walgreens telling ABC News the sudden surge in demand means some versions or dosages of Tamiflu may be unavailable.
And this Walgreens in the Miami area is one of those that's out of Tamiflu, but they do have flu shots available. Walgreens tells us they expect more inventory in the coming days, and right now the best advice is to just call your pharmacy ahead of time. Michael?
All right, thank you so much, Victor. And Dr. Jennifer Ashton is joining us now. And, Doc, every day we're seeing some tragic stories about the flu and how it escalates so fast. And there's a Tamiflu shortage, which is really, really frightening and for those who have the onset feeling of the flu. How effective is the Tamiflu?
Well, when you talk about these antiviral treatments, oseltamivir is the generic form of Tamiflu. They are modestly effective overall in treating the flu. So they reduce the symptoms by about approximately a day in adults, a little bit less than that, and by about a day in children. However, it is actually much more effective when used to help prevent a close contact, like a household contact, who has known or suspected influenza. When the household goes on Tamiflu, it can reduce the risk of them getting it by about 80%. So that is the real utility for this medication. Everyone always says, well, then why doesn't everyone just take Tamiflu? It's just not feasible. You can't have half the country on a medication for the entire flu season.
And what happens if you can't immediately get Tamiflu?
We used to hear 48 hours is the maximum. Now there is some data that suggests that it can help even after given that time. So it shouldn't be withheld just because you're over 48 hours.
And you have your daughter's feeling a little under the weather. How do you have her set up this morning?
She's on Tamiflu. She's in isolation. I'm on Tamiflu, and we're hoping for the best.
All right, we're hoping for the best for you, too. Thank you so much, Doc. We appreciate it. George.
Thank you, guys. We're going to move on now to a tragedy in Houston. A kidnapping victim was shot and killed during an FBI raid. Now it's under investigation, and ABC's Marcus Moore has the latest.
Chaos and confusion at this house after a pre-dawn FBI raid to save a man who'd been kidnapped turned deadly. Authorities now looking into the possibility that an FBI agent fired the shot that killed the kidnapped victim. The FBI releasing no details about what happened inside that house.
I can't tell you specifically why we were here, but I can tell you that it was an FBI operation.
But documents revealing it started with a kidnapping Wednesday morning at a home in the city of Conroe, Texas.
We do this job to help people, and you know, doesn't always go our way.
Police say these two armed suspects allegedly forced their way into this home, binding a 12-year-old boy and his father with duct tape. According to court documents, the suspects may have been attempting to collect an $8,000 debt from a relative of the victims by demanding a $20,000 ransom.
They left the child bound and took the father with them, telling the child not to call the police.
The young boy freeing himself and alerting police. Authorities tracking the suspects, ending up at this house. The FBI saying at least one of their agents fired a weapon in the ensuing chaos. But this morning, it is unclear if those shots killed the victim.
There are so many questions this morning about how this ended so badly. The FBI agent who fired that weapon is on administrative leave this morning as the investigation unfolds. And the suspects, they are facing aggravated kidnapping charges this morning. But the district attorney here in Montgomery County says they could even be charged with murder. Robin.
So sad. All right, Marcus, thank you. We're going to switch gears now to a breakfast battle over eggs. Panera is protesting how some fast food restaurants labeled their dishes and now calling on the FDA to take a closer look at the definition of egg. ABC's Eva Pilgrim is here with those details. Good morning, Eva.
Good morning, Robin. It's something most of us have never even questioned. It looks like an egg, it smells like an egg, but now one major food company is asking, should it be called an egg?
Everything you love about breakfast, wrapped in a fried egg shell.
This morning, a breakfast battle brewing.
Freshly made all day.
Panera crying foul, saying the eggs in their competitors' sandwiches aren't always all they're cracked up to be.
Have a classic Egg McMuffin made with real butter and a freshly cracked egg.
The bakery now petitioning the FDA, arguing that only food made from a cracked shell egg without addition of additives or further processing should be called eggs, saying anything else should be referred to as egg products.
You deserve a breakfast made with respect.
This as they roll out their own new line of made-to-order breakfast sandwiches featuring 100% real eggs.
Our view is if you ask for an egg, you should get an egg. Over half of those chains have eggs on their menu with 5 or more ingredients.
Many fast food chains reheat pre-cooked frozen egg patties or use a bulk liquid egg product. While eggs may be the main ingredient, they also contain things like preservatives to extend the shelf life, coloring to make it look better, and other ingredients that all help to give you that perfect fluffy egg.
Bacon, fresh roasted peppers, cage-free eggs.
Taco Bell and Starbucks saying they aren't misleading consumers, both pointing out that they list the ingredients for all their food on their websites. Dunkin' Donuts firing back that their eggs are real, saying the additional ingredients are used to ensure integrity during the cooking process.
Oh, the egg battle. Experts say it's not likely the FDA is going to rush to define what is an egg, since this isn't exactly a major public health concern, but they said they will respond.
People want to know.
Yes.
People do want to know. and how many of you like Nutella?
Everybody likes Nutella.
Everybody likes Nutella? Yeah, kind of, but you know what? But in France, it's a big thing. Yeah. So delicious, in fact, is this chocolate hazelnut spread that it led to a lot of supermarket craziness yesterday. Take a look. Some are describing these scenes as riots in the north of France. Police recall when shoppers broke out into fistfights. You ask, why are they fighting? The jars usually go for about $6, but were marked down to $1.75. A grocery store manager there called the sale a success, but a store employee said the frenzied shoppers were like animals, and nothing was sweet about that. I mean, the reaction to this whole thing was just completely nutty.
Well, I like it. I just don't like it that much.
You're not going to fight for it.
The bigger question is, why was it marked down so much?
Good question. But imagine if they had marked down the eggs.
We're going to go to Ginger now. She has the latest on those ice jams in the Northeast.
I do, and some improvement. People were let back into their homes along the Susquehanna River. You can see Wednesday and Thursday. So the ice jam has removed itself, but there are huge chunks next to the rivers. Either way, we are going to see a huge, mild warm-up. And I'll leave you with that. The Weekend Getaway is now brought to you by Venture Card.
With the Capital One Venture Card, you'll earn unlimited double miles on every purchase every day, not just airline purchases. Think about all the double miles you could be earning.
Holy moly, that's a lot of miles!
Shh.
What's in your wallet?
After a cold start, we will finish up rather mild for this time of year under bright sunshine through the afternoon hours, so you will need the heavy coat early, and don't forget the sunglasses as well. For this weekend, increasing clouds through the day tomorrow, but notice our daytime high in the upper 50s. Get out and enjoy, because starting late Saturday night and in through Sunday, we're tracking some showers, and it will be rather light through Sunday afternoon. Here's a quick look at that extended forecast, maybe a PM wintry mix on Monday. Notice those temperatures falling cooler.
Coming up, we'll have the latest on that scandal that is rocking the gymnastics world and the investigation into the famed Karoli Ranch.
The Shape of Water is now nominated.